flesh. He wrote it. He documented it. God in the flesh. These are not allegorical but decisive words from the mouth of God himself. He even confirmed this title by naming the Shriner's Handbook Allah Ma'ana, which translates God with us. He told us over and over who he is. Now, are you saying that the beast man incarcerated God? Blasphemy, sacrilege, absolute disrespect, etc., etc. Now let us continue. This is because of the warning of the ancient teachers against allowing the secret doctrine to become crystallized into a religious creed. The best kept secret, best kept sacred. The wisdom of this caution is apparent to all students of the statement, mum's the word. The ancient occultism of India and Persia degenerated and was largely lost owing to the fact that the teachers became priests and so mixed theology and philosophy with the facts. The result being that the occultism of India and Persia had been gradually lost amidst the mass of religious superstition, cults, faiths, beliefs, creeds, and spook spirit gods. And these gods are in conflict with each other. So it was in ancient Sumer and Mayan, and it was not with the Tehuti teachings of old, kept protected, few. Now is available in the ancient Egyptian order. The Gnostics and early Christians even touched this. None was lost in time of Constantine, whose iron hand smothered Egyptian facts with the blanket of philosophy and theology, losing it in the Christian church and later the Muslim mosques. That which was its very essence and spirit, and causing it to grow throughout several centuries before it found its way back to its ancient roots. The indication apparent to all careful observers in the 21st century being that the churches, mosques, are now struggling to get back to its ancient mystic teachings of Egypt. And the monks and their night orders who were overthrown by the Muslim Sultan Mukmuk in the 14th century, who stole some information for the Sufi order of Turkey. But there were always a few loyal souls who kept the truth alive, tending to it carefully and not allowing its secrets to become destroyed by the children of light and chaos. And thanks to these staunch hearts and fearless minds, we have the truth still with us. It is found in the teachings of the ancient Egyptian order. It has been passed down along from master to student, from hierophant to initiate, from lip to ear. When it was written down at all, its meaning was veiled in terms of alchemy and astrology and secret symbolism, so that only those who possessed the master's key could read it aright. This was made necessary in order to avoid the persecutions of the theologians of the Middle Ages, who fought the secret doctrine with the light, fire, and sword, stick, gibbet, cross, and crescent. Even to this day, there will be found but few reliable books on the teachings, although there are countless references to it. In many books written on various phases of occultism, and yet the Tehuti teachings is the only master key which will open all the doors of the occult teachings. In the early days, there was a compilation of certain basics Ha doctrines passed on from teacher to student, which was known as Pasarun Hakumdum, the sacred wisdom. The exact significance and meaning of the term having been the secret wisdom. This teaching, however, is known to many, to whom it has descended from mouth to ear, on and on throughout the centuries. Its precepts have never been totally written down or printed. It was merely a collection of maxims, axioms, and precepts which were non-understandable to outsiders and passed from mouth to ear, but which were readily understandable by students after the axioms, maxims, and precepts had been explained and exemplified by the initiates to their neophytes. These teachings really constituted the basic principles of the art of Egyptian alchemy, which, contrary to general belief, dealt in the mastery of mental forces rather than material elements, the transmutation of one kind of mental vibration into others, instead of the changing of one kind of metal into another. The legend of the philosopher's stone, which would turn base metal into gold, was an allegory relating to Tehuti's teaching, readily understood by all students of Ha. We invite our students of the Ancient Egyptian Order to examine into Ha teachings as set forth by Pasarun Hakumdum, the secret wisdom, and as explained by myself. And as explained by myself, the incarnation of Tehuti. And my students of the teachings who, while bearing the title of initiates, are students at the feet of Tehuti, the Supreme Grand Hierophant. We herein give you many of the maxims, axioms, and precepts of Pasarun Hakumdum, accompanied by explanations and illustrations which we deem likely to render the teachings more easily comprehended by the modern students, particularly as the original text is purposely veiled in obscure terms. The original maxims, axioms, and precepts of Pasarun Hakumdum are printed herein, in quotation marks, the proper credits being given. My own work is printed in the regular way, in the body of the work. I trust that many students to whom I now offer this little work will derive as much benefit from the study of its pages as have many who have gone on before, treading the same path to mystery throughout the centuries that have passed since the times of Tehuti, the master of masters, the greatest of the great. Unquote. Are you really listening, people? Because some Nubians still believe Tehuti is a convict, a convicted felon. Reasoning is an innate ability, a mental faculty derived from utilizing the right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which Nuwaubu teaches. Understanding comes before reasoning. If you do not have sound, right reasoning, then you never understood. Now, earlier down into this incarceration illusion, Tehuti corresponded to Neb Camus and ATUM-RE through one of the clones in a letter. Tehuti cautioned, hold onto your pockets. Neb Camus and ATUM-RE immediately understood what that meant. So Neb Camus put the immediate break on donating any monies to the then lawyer funds and research teams. Nonetheless, it is too late in the game now, 2018, to attempt to involve Neb Camus in any lawyer fund or scheme, whether it be direct or subsidiary involvement. After 120 odd videos, everyone now should already know Neb Camus's take, which is, if there is actually a being incarcerated at Florence ADX Maximum Prison in Colorado, then that being is beyond the shadow of a doubt one of his 9 clones. And this is sound right reasoning. Wake up, mummies. Thus ends today's video. We hope you have learned something from this video, and we hope you will share this video and subscribe to the only channel where you will learn true ancient Egyptian mysteries. No more lies, no more guesswork, so share, subscribe, click on the like button below, and see you at the next video.